Hi there, welcome to AVAX Wyckoff Technical Analysis session. So it's been a while since we covered AVAX, and this is the very first express session for AVAX. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. If you're new to my sessions, these are the 3 key takeaways you can expect from it. So let's get started with the weekly chart of AVAX. Here, last time it was really long ago and we were still discussing about a higher chance to get into a new distribution cycle. However, that prematurely vanished, and this now becomes very long wait probably because it has gone to a test, unfortunately, the lower opportunity stage, and this now has become something we have to wait for. So I'll say 50% chance for the stage. It can be another SOS or it can be this one. So it depends on when the next time the price of AVAX is going to challenge the yellow key level again of $29.30. We can consider that another sign of strength. Unless it's such a low, like very short-lived distribution, which is really weird in this case. Not that it has happened for AVAX before. Some very weak projects may exhibit some similar behavior, but definitely this is the first time if it is for AVAX. So I tend to believe this is more an accumulation, just that the uptrend hasn't continued, and that's where we are now, and it's still going through the stage of a subsequent test, which may have a chance. You see it's at 25% here and 50% here, and you may ask where it's the other 25%. That's where the spring goes. Okay, would it be a spring? Meaning an even lower point than what's been tested. So you see the wick has gone all the way lower than the red key level of $15.80. Yeah. So if we go to the daily chart, we can quickly see what's going on. Here, last time when we were still conducting the session, we asked a question, would it be another sign of weakness coming? And we all know what happened on the October 10th. And that time, it was at a level similar to the previous sign of weaknesses back in August, beginning of August, and end of August, also one time in early September. And October 10th triggered another sign of weakness signal just to bring the daily chart distribution to accumulation. So there was another last point of supply. You can consider this little peak over here last point of supply as well. And then eventually we went through the PSY period, not PSY, PS period, preliminary support. Not that we have tagged it over here, so I can borrow the PSY and tuck it in over here. Alright, and just 3-4 days ago, about like on Tuesday, almost 6 days now, that was likely the selling climax. But selling climax in Wyckoff analysis doesn't mean it's the lowest point in the accumulation cycle. So I've mentioned about the spring, and even through these, not very long ago, just half a year ago in April, we see some second tests or subsequent tests going to the same or even lower level. You see the wick, how deep it went, right? So that's how things can happen, even we have gone through the selling climax. This downtrend, even if it finishes, there's still a chance for it to come to the orange key level and then bounce down, like got rejected, come back down to test the red line again. So that was what happened here. So you see the automatic rally, right? That's a stage after the selling climax. So there would be a bounce, and then it tends to come down for another test. So a lot of times you see something similar for Wyckoff in terms of Wyckoff method. Sometimes the automatic rally would be lower, like this one, not as strong as the one that we have seen in March. So where it's going to end the peak of the automatic rally is still a question mark, but we'll soon realize where it's heading. The key thing over here is there is a breakout time point around November 19th over here. So this particular triangle, you see the price is, or the trading is happening within this, what I call air hockey table or a channel box. So the price tends to bounce between the edges of the box as well as the center line. So when that happens, eventually, now it's bouncing off from the ceiling, but it can, looking at what happened over the past 4 days, it found support around the red key level. 1 second. I'm trying to expand the chart so it's easier for you to see, but then the chart, okay, now it's listening. Okay, so because some members are watching on mobile device, that's why I want to enlarge it as much as possible. So you see that's pretty solid support over those 4 days. So if this time it really bounced off from the ceiling and found support as well, eventually it will continue to trade towards the edge of this triangle, and that's where the breakout opportunity comes. If it breaks the red and continues downwards, that's not a surprise, because this downtrend has started in October. All right, so it's just continuing the downtrend and seeking a lower level like what happened in April. If, however, it breaks to the upside and starts the automatic rally, that's when it's time for the speculators to tell us how quickly they want to FOMO in, and then would this time be the same where we get to the orange key level and got rejected before it goes to the sign of strength again. So this is the sign of strength over there. Alright, so this leg upwards isn't confirmed yet before it breaks the ceiling of the box. So this is not a confirmed path. There's still a chance for it to come down before it breaks. So this is just one opportunity, one time point over there. Not that it must be that those two scenarios. There's one more that it can go further down that I briefly touched on just now. If the price breaks towards the downside and continues downward, look at what happened on October 10th. It ended way lower than this solid white line around $10.30. This white line is the bottom edge of what I call the long-term playground zone. We haven't touched on this so long that even the text is so small. So this, basically, if we look at this chart from the weekly perspective, about 70-80% of the time, other than the peaks or the crazy dips, AVAX has been trading within this zone. Alright, so that's where we get to that white line at the bottom. So October 10th went below it. This time when the price comes down, continue to trade downwards, if the capital has been like jumping around here and there in different altcoins, triggering their distribution cycle, this may continue to go lower because the capital has basically been attracted to somewhere else. Alright, so for the coming few days, like in the next 10 to 12 days, when we further, or the price or the candlesticks further approach to the tip of the triangle, that's when we'll know where the trend is going. Is it going to continue within this channel box, or is it going to trade sideways between the red or the orange line. So that's the case for AVAX. Thanks for joining me.